Hello again, YouTube. Today we are back at this pile of cherry. It's mostly cherry anyways. And I got it something a little different coming up for you today. Going to be using a 25-ton log splitter to work on this stuff. It's amazing how much wood is here. I'm trying to move this whole pile and there is more than you think. It's several truckloads. So I'm just getting suited up here. That log standing up right underneath where my hands are right now is a hickory log. And that is some tough splitting stuff, and that log is also a crotch and it's like 20 something inches long, but that hickory is really tough to split. And I'm just beginning to tell the difference in the hickory. Shag bark and shell bark, especially shaggy bark hickory, is pretty easy to tell, but the pig nut, bitter nut, and mocker nut hickories are a little bit different, and the bark is different, so I've been studying that, trying to be able to tell that apart. Now I start off here and I'm going to load my truck with these rounds and take them home. I try to split some of them, and even this cherry is tough to split. This cherry tree has a lot of like small burls in it they're like burls with branches growing out of them, and it's not all straight grain, easy splitting cherry stuff. It's a lot of twisted grain stuff, and the rounds are really large and hard to manage. So guys from the tree service were nice enough to let me use their log splitter today, and I just love it. I thought it was a blast. I had fun doing it, and I owe them some gas. But I was able to use the log splitter to get through a lot of this nasty stuff, and I also split that hickory log with the log splitter. Now I did miss a little bit of the footage. Sometimes this stuff happens. I don't know. I set the camera up and tapped play, and I guess it didn't. My fingers must have been sweaty or something because it didn't start recording. And I split one of those cherry rounds open. I think it was like the stump side of it, and it had a bunch of ants in it. I mean, they were big, fat carpenter ants. I mean, they were like more like small dogs than ants. They were huge, and there was a bunch of them in there, so I had to throw that one down, and they went all over the place, and I was standing in them and everything. Thank goodness they didn't bite me. That was pretty nasty. And there was a whole cherry round that went to waste, kind of. It's still sitting there, but those ants are in that log, and if the queen is still in there, I guess they'll still make that their nest. If the tree service cut that down and there was the queen in there and enough of the worker ants in the colony, I guess they just kind of keep going on and reestablish inside that stump. So if the queen is in there, they're probably still going to be in there, and I don't know if they'll go away. I mean, I tried to like slam it down on the ground a bunch and knock them out of there. A bunch of eggs and ants. I mean, all those nasty white eggs came all out of there and everything, all over the ground. And I did see one of them that looked a little bit larger than the others, and I smashed it because I thought that was the queen. So again, I'm not an ant expert, so I don't know if they will just find a new queen. I mean, if there's that many of them and they have all of the eggs or brood or whatever in there and the larva of the new stuff, I don't know if they'll just select a new queen or if they leave or what. But yeah, they were definitely still in that log, and that's been split and sitting there for at least several months. I'm not sure how long, but it's been there a long time, and they're still living inside that log. So if I go back, I might try to save half of that ant log, but who knows? If there's ants in there, I don't really want them living in my house. So now, switching gears, if you look at this log that I just split, see that big burl on the side of it? A lot of that stuff looks like this, and I wish I would have ran that piece I just put in my truck through the splitter, because it's just half of a round with a big old knotty burl on the side with branches growing out of it. And after I got it home, I looked at it and I'm like, man, I really don't know if this is going to split with an axe or not. But I'll try, and I'm not going to haul it all the way back over there. I'll deal with it. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just have to half it up again with a chainsaw. But that'll be something interesting to try to split on my new chopping block when I finally get to use it. That one's going to be a tough one. Okay, right here is a really big round of cherry, and it's actually straight grain, but I smacked it right in the middle and got stuck. And I'm really stuck right now, and this round is so heavy, I mean, I can't even lift it, like, hardly, with the axe. See how I'm trying to lift it, and I can't even lift it to slam it down. I have to use two hands and grab the back of the log to lift it to get unstuck. But I also wanted to mention that I did crack my fiberglass axe handle, which I have no idea how I did it. I looked at it like a week ago, and right up against the axe head on the business side of it, on the underneath, right where you would slam it down on a log, there's a big chunk taken out of it, and it's kind of cracked, and it's still attached, but it's kind of bothersome, and it's not loose or anything though. So I mean, inside the head of the axe is fine, but it's got a big chunk taken out of the fiberglass. So there you go. It is possible, I guess, even to break these fiberglass handles. I've had that axe a long time, like 15 years or so, maybe even longer. But I think I got it in like 2004, 2005. So anyways, yeah, I did something to it. Hopefully it keeps hanging on, but it is cracked. The owner of the tree service just offered to let me use his 25-ton county line log splitter, so I'm stoked about that. Do that. You want some money for gas? No. We should have gas in it. I'm going to throw it in my air. I'll go this way. It'll be. It takes just a few minutes to get this thing up and running. It's about out of gas, and I had to get used to the controls for a second, so bear with me for a minute. On, off. On. Again, notice the side of that log with that nasty, burly looking area with all those little branches growing out of it. Tough splitting. The log splitter has officially run out of gas, and I didn't bring any with me today. Gary was nice enough to lend me some, and I got like 25 minutes of run time out of what he gave me. So that was really nice, and I'll bring him some gas and do some more in the future. But now it's just time to get this stuff loaded up. And also I've had several comments, mainly on my Instagram, about the kittens that were found in the last video. People want me to save them, save them, save them. I gotta do something. I brought some food out there, and there's several people that feed these cats. So I took them, I don't know, 10 or 15 pounds of food, and I actually might bring some more food. I think I can spare some more. So we're doing all we can for the kittens. People are feeding them, and they have a place to live anyways. But it's just a lot of responsibility to bring home more cats. I have a cat already that I care for, and she's on a special diet and everything. You can check out her channel. It's listed on my page, Bengal Cat Adventures. But I've brought feral cats home before, and they all ended up having babies, and I had like 9 cats living around my house, and it got to a point where my neighbors were complaining, and the smell was unbelievable. They were using the area in between our houses to use the bathroom, and the smell of cat pee was just unbearable. It was unbelievable how bad they all smelled. I mean, when you went outside, it smelled just like a litter box. I mean, it was a cat bathroom, and they were bringing dead animals over and putting them on my neighbors' porches and things, so I had to get rid of them. So if I brought kittens home, I'd have to spay or neuter them, take them to the vet, pay for food, keep them out of my neighbor's yard, and they would be living outside, so it's just not a good situation at my house for more cats, unfortunately. I would love to save them all, but I just can't do that, so I'm going to feed them and do the best I can to give them a good life. So that's the deal with the cats. They are feral cats, and we're doing all we can to try to get them food, and they're welcome to live in the woodpile. It looks like I did miss the footage of those big old carpenter ants. You know, I know y'all, it's not a huge deal, but it was some action to show. Everything I do that is action or interesting, I like to record. So that was something to see, and I don't know what happened. Sometimes I set the tripod up and I hit the button and it just doesn't record. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't recording, so I missed that. Not a huge deal. Y'all just missed a bunch of ants all over the place. Big, huge black ants. Anyways, I got most of the splitting. This is already about an hour video, so it's plenty long. It was just more of the same, a bunch of cherry and a little bit of hickory. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably do some more of this. I just love using the log splitter and stuff. I think it's fun. So I'll have to do some exercising at home otherwise on some of these days. Just because, like I said, I use the wood mall a lot to get exercise and cardiovascular exercise and sunshine and all of that stuff. So I'll just do some cardio at home and use the log splitter when I feel like it. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time. There we go, guys. A fresh load of cherry. Looking good. I checked my tire inflation and it's up to par, but man, they sure do get squishy. And I need new tires on this car. These have been on a long time. So I just drive slow and hope nothing happens.